Hello everyone, so this video is gonna be even a bit more disorganized than usual, but I wanted to like put out this because it's very useful for me to recap things. So I am tuning two wildly different systems. So this one is a Z590 11900F, and this one is a B660M Wi-Fi DDR4 with a 12400F. So first of all, let me put out that I finally found why these Asus boards, I mean these because there are also, I had this in the past with a B660i, so ITX board, that would, I mean, at some point after 6 months, the owner complained that it was started to crash randomly, while it didn't do that before, and so I had to swap the motherboard for MSI, and I finally found out that for some reason, at some point, these Asus boards with B660 started to have issues with C status enabled when undervolting. So this board will not undervolt any offset would make it unstable unless I disable C states. Now I don't know whether other vendors just disable C states by default when undervolting, and so I don't even know about that because I don't have a voltmeter anymore to test it, and I mean, when I undervolt 100 millivolts, maybe the offset is like giving us enough power savings that I don't really notice that against C states enabled, or it's a Asus bug. But yeah, that was the solution. So this machine can now undervolt 120 millivolt. So another thing that I would say about this combo of CPU and motherboard from Asus is that the same CPU would undervolt 135 on a gigabyte board, and now it's doing 120. So that means that Asus is like providing a less voltage by default, which is also it's also in line with my previous findings, where this board would like perform worse than every other P660 that I tested in the first video that I did about this like 2 years ago, because this is the same motherboard from 2 years ago that I purchased at the early Alder Lake reviews. But now coming to RAM stuff. So those two machines that I show you, I swapped the RAM between them because this kit is a 266 rated. Okay, let me open Typhoon Banner. So this kit from Patriot is rated for 2666, and it would be like weirdly unstable on the Z590 board, on the i9, which means that I mean actually I couldn't get it past 3000 for some reason. No way. 2933 was like stable, but would like randomly give me maybe 1 or 2 errors at the end of TM5 after 3 hours, 4 hours of like 3 hours and a half of TM5. So that was super annoying. So I decided to swap the RAM between this and the other machine, and this one was previously running the kit that is okay. So this custom kit, 3600 CL16. So it's a very good Patriot kit. Renegade. Sorry, this is a very good Renegade kit. I was able to do 3800 with this kit, but it's now running at 3466. I found out the reason why. I mean, sorry. So the Asus board would not crash at any time for the TM5. Would never crash TM5, and I thought maybe it's about the memory controller, but it turns out that the problem is, I mean, the thing is that this gigabyte board would not change anything in the secondary and tertiary timings when like rising the frequencies, while the Asus did a lot actually. So, for example, TWRRDSG for the Patriot kit, so the 2666, I think it was set to 30 by default, like from the memory kit, and the gigabyte board would keep it at 30. And I found out during my testing, so that actually if I raise that value to 32, I would get better results. And now, to my not really surprised, but total sense, the Asus board at the same frequency set this to 36. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense, because if you're rising the frequency, you should also rise the secondaries and tertiary timings accordingly. And what I think is like the totally different approach is like they're both they're both doing it wrong. So the Asus, I think, is overcompensating too much for the sake of stability, which is weird, because usually, I mean, no, really, what Asus always does is like overcompensating for stability, and by like dialing in excessive voltages, and at this time excessive timings, while the Gigabyte board is giving too little, is doing too little to compensate for the memory frequency increase. Because also another thing is that the Gigabyte board would require the RAM to set at 127 volt to be stable for like hard loads like Limpak and My Rancher, while this doesn't. This is stable at 1.24 volts, I think. It's not here, but it's 124 now. And this is probably because of the secondary and tertiary timings. So yeah, they both doing it a little bit wrong, but Asus is staying on the safe side, and I guess that's better for the average user. I should have took like do that much to realize, but yeah, the main thing is that this kit is very like on the edge of stability by itself, because it's 2666 and it's running at 1.2 volts for CL16, which is like, I like it. I like the fact that this kit is like very like conservative with the voltage, but it's really on the verge of stability by its default profile. You see, this one is running on 1.2 with very tight timings. So I think that's a combination of like, because that's not usual. Like the average memory kit that you buy can easily run the same timings with an offset, like a negative offset on the voltages, while this one probably doesn't. This Patriot kit is really on the edge. I hope this makes sense for you. Sorry for the like messy presentation, but I really needed to do this because it's early in the morning and I might not remember this in the future. And ciao.